So what's up everyone, it is your girl GlossGods 87 here, aka Grace, and today we're gonna get into 5 brands to dupe themselves. So y'all know the drill. I have 5 different brands. Well, technically I only have 3 different brands this time to dupe themselves, but still I have 5 products from these brands that are similar to other products that they already created, and I'm just like, look here, how many times do I need this same thing? Child, how many times do I need the same thing? I just don't. So we're gonna start off with e.l.f., which is rare to me to have to bring up e.l.f., but do we really need both of these? Like, niacinamide one versus the original one, to me it's the same thing. I haven't seen any differences in using this one versus using this one, so I'm like, I don't see where this is supposed to make a difference, aside from the fact that I'm sure there's not enough skincare in this in order for it to be, you know, truly that effective. So I'm like, what was the purpose? What was the purpose? What was the purpose? Cash grab. That was the purpose. That's why people put skincare in things and then like hype up the skincare part of it, when you know, like I know, like you ain't put enough skincare in this for it to truly transform without using like probably just about the whole bottle just to get a little bit of a result. That's just my personal opinion. Obviously I'm not a dermatologist, so I'm not sure, but I'm like, to me it's just like, I might as well just use the original one. I don't feel like I'm gonna see that huge a difference for it to be, you know, that big a deal. Well, aside from the fact it's pretty much the same product in a different shade. So there's that. Next I have these Maybelline lifter glosses. I have the shade 07 Amber and the shade 06 Reef. I mean, look at these. Like, even when I swatched them out, I felt like they looked pretty much the same. And then when you put them on the lips, like, unless you have a lipstick over them, I feel like you're not going to see that big a difference in the tone. Because when I swatched it, I didn't see that big a difference in the tone, which is why I'm bringing it up. I'm like, I know one's supposed to be more like peachy and one's supposed to be more pink, but I'm like, on the lips I feel like you're not gonna be able to tell too much of a difference. So that's why I was like, they look the same to me. Like, look at that. Do they look different to you? Look at it on my hand. Does it look different to you? Because to me personally it does not. So I'm like, you just out here duping yourself. Like, maybe a slight difference in undertone, but like I say, most of the time when you put stuff like this on the lips, even a slight difference of undertone, unless it's on top of a lipstick that's similar to the undertone of the lip gloss, you usually can't tell the difference. So for someone who wanted a difference in tones, I feel like it's not going to be that different in tone for you. So that's why I'm like, you just duped yourself with that, because I'm not seeing any difference in the tone whatsoever. Now I got to remember not to stick my hands on my pants, because I got enough stains on my pants from reviewing Angie's collab, which is what's on my eyes right now. I have on the little ghost palette. You all should have seen this video before you see the one we're talking about right now. Next we're going to get is the Glamlight and They Do. So I feel like the 2 glosses from these 2 different collections, this is the Rick and Morty one, and this is the Scooby-Doo one, the second part that they came out with when they came out with all the characters. I feel like both the lip products look really similar in tone. So that's why I'm like, again, I don't see why we needed 2 separate glosses. I feel like the glosses look similar. One may look a little more like metallic-y, and the other one a little more like glittery, but I'm like, at the end of the day, they're both like pretty similar in tone. Sorry, y'all know it takes forever to get the Glamlight ones out, because they be like they were molded into there in order for you to put it on. So I'm like, that's a lot. So let me swatch those out so you can see the difference, because I felt like once I swatched them out in that video, if y'all remember, that they looked really similar, and I think I told you all that in that video. But I know everybody doesn't watch everything. Some people just literally come to this channel to see dupes, since I do film a lot of dupe content, so I wanted to make sure that they got their portion of it as well. But you see what I'm saying? Like, this one is just more metallic-y, and then this one is more red. So I guess it depends on your preference. But the fact they have 2 similar tones of colors, I'm just kind of like, did I really need both of them? No, I don't personally feel like I do, because I remember putting both of them on the lips and feeling like they looked very similar. So that's why I wanted to put it in here. Now I'm not saying they're exact. I'm just like, it's similar enough to where I felt like they didn't need to have both. But I mean, I guess I can understand them thinking like people want different finishes and things of that nature, so that's why they made both. So it's like they were just, you know, to me they were just a little too similar for me to feel like the justification behind them are gonna say. Let me go get a makeup wipe to move these lipsticks off my hands, because the last 2 are palettes from a brand. One of them is a palette I have on my eyes, spoiler alert. So I want to be able to swatch the colors and give y'all the similarities and tell you why I feel like they're so similar in tone without just looking at them, giving you swatches and ideas of similar colors. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so I think I start with the one that's on my eyes. This is the little ghost palette alongside the Salon 2 palette. I feel like some of the colors in here are actually pretty similar, and they just took a different approach with what colors they put at the bottom. See, like, I feel like the bottom colors in here are more orange whereas these are more like corally. But otherwise I feel like the color story is actually pretty similar, and they have the pop of yellow, whereas there's no pop of color in here. So I want to swatch some of the shades to see how similar they were. So let's do it. Like especially the light blue and the light purple, that's what I was most interested in. So I'm gonna swatch the Solman palette first, or Solman 2 palette first, and then I'm going to swatch Angie's palette, just so we can get an idea of how similar those colors are, because those were the ones I was first like, hold on, like it's giving Solman 2 vibes to a certain extent, but I was hoping they weren't like exact, and they're not exact, but they're still giving like similarities to what I'm side-eyeing, like like, did I really need this palette? I mean, I like the colors Angie chose better when it came to the bottom row, because y'all know I'm not big on oranges. So the fact that she does more corally oranges as opposed to actual oranges are what made it okay for me. But it's like, if you don't mind just the traditional oranges, then you might, you know, like it better than Angie's palette. I will say I like the purple shade in the Solman palette better than I like the purple shade in Angie's palette, just because I feel like it's a little too light for someone with my skin tone. So this is Solman, and this is Angie. Solman and Angie. See what I'm saying about the purple and the Solman palette? Angie's just looks a little too light. It's like a white with a little bit of like lilac to it, and I feel like because of my skin tone that would be awfully ashy on me, so that's personally why I'm not a huge fan. But I feel like the blues looked somewhat similar, not exact, but like close enough to where I feel like it would pass. Like if I had both of my eyes, I don't feel like you'd be able to tell the difference personally. So that's those. Let's see if there are any shimmers that I feel like look similar. There's a couple of shimmers. There's this purple shimmer. So there's not a whole lot in here that looks similar, thank goodness, but the stuff that did look similar I want to point out to you, since I was, you know, doing the video talking about Dupe Themselves. Okay, so that purple is a little bit deeper. I know that purple is going to be deeper than this purple, but I'm still going to swatch it because I'm here, you're here. Y'all know we're all here. So, you know, she's just going to swatch it. Yeah, that one is deeper. Which, again, is okay, good. Because, like I said, I didn't want to have too many shades that were too similar. And then there's, like, a powdery blue in each one that's kind of, like, unique and weird and undertone. But I feel like, again, like the one in the Solman 2 palette is a little bit more like of a brighter, deeper grayish tone blue, if that made sense, in that unique sense of like a traditional blue, whereas Angie seems to be more purple-ish leaning. And so this is Solman, Little Ghost, Solman, Little Ghost, Solman, Little Ghost. So these were the two unique blues I was talking about. As you can see, they're two unique tones, so I actually feel like this palette might pair well with that one. And as you can see, the purples are somewhat similar, but you know, they're not exact. So nothing is exact, I just feel like it gives a similar vibe. So I wanted to point that out and show you all these alternatives, if you will, to this palette. Do I have any other tones in here similar? I don't think anything else looks similar. I guess I'll do the two corally shades, since, you know, it's here, we're here, everyone's here, so I'm gonna use that corally shade, because I use a corally shade in my look I have on right now, so I'll be able to tell if they're different, and I feel like they are. I feel like hers is a little more peachy and theirs is a little more orange leaning, since, you know, it is more of an orange set there. So here is the Solman palette, and this, sorry, Solman 2 palette, and this is Angie's Little Ghost palette. So as you can see, they're not exact. I just wanted to show that they are similar. There's one more shade I'm gonna swatch. It's a dark purple in here that's similar to the dark purple in Angie's palette. That's the dark purple that's underneath my lower lash line right now. So, and as you can see, they're not similar at all. This one to me definitely looks more purple, and to me this looks a little bit more like that dark aubergine shade that's in the Mothership 5 everybody loves. So I feel like they're not exactly similar. I'm gonna do swatch comparisons. Sorry, I should already have swatch comparisons up on this, on our YouTube Reels, if anybody's interested in that. Or my my IG Reels, my YouTube Short, and my TikTok. By the time this goes up, there should be swatch comparisons and all that, so you don't have to like necessarily sit here and watch this. You will have already seen this, but I want to do both of them since I was here, you were here, we were all here with these palettes. So that's why I feel like these two are similar, and they dupe themselves with that, because it's like, I feel like it's really similar color story. It's just she did more corals at the end and did the pop of yellow, whereas it's just with them it's more of a traditional, like, you know, what do you call it, it's a traditional orange what was I gonna say? Orange, purple, and blue situation. So the last one I have to talk about is the Trick or Treat palette and the Merry Christmas one, because everybody wanted to get their hands on this Merry Christmas palette. So I feel like both of these color stores are really similar, or similar enough to where you can get similar vibes from them. So we're gonna swatch some of these side by side and see how it goes. Also, random side note, I don't know if it's just you, but to me this shade right here, this bluish to green shifting this green to blue shifting shade looks really similar to that shade that they had in the, what is it, Stone and Rock palette, in my personal opinion. So when I get home, I'll try to swatch and compare that to that. All that should have happened before you see this video though. So let's get into some of these shades. So I want to swatch. I'm gonna start off with Merry Christmas first, of course, and then I'm gonna go into Angie's palette there. So there's that one. Then I'm gonna do Poinsettia in Merry Christmas, because it has that redness too, but I feel like Angie's red is brighter. But we still gonna swatch them and just see, because when it oxidizes it might be deeper. I don't know. I think I had to wait and see. There's my makeup wipe. Now, of course, there aren't any oranges in this palette, so I can't compare the oranges, and there aren't like any green shimmers, so there's not much green in here to compare. If anything, it's just more like for the reds and like the kind of neutrally tones. They have a more peachy undertone matte, and then they have a more what do you call it? I guess I do these two dark green shimmers, even though I feel like the one in the Merry Christmas is brighter. So it's giving similar vibes when you like just look at it offhand, so a good alternative to it, but like the colors in here are not exact. And that's what I just wanted to make clear. But if you want, like I said, this is just alternative. I'm not saying they're the same. It's just, I feel like it's close enough as an alternative for if they don't bring the palette back. So here are the shades. So this is Merry Christmas, Trick or Treat, Merry Christmas, Trick or Treat, Merry Christmas, Trick or Treat. So that's what all the tones look like. I feel like the mattes do look somewhat similar. I mean, Angie's red is a little bit brighter than Poinsettia, but I feel like the two deeper ones are similar in tone to where you'd be able to get a similar look. Let's see if any of these shimmers look the same. The thing that's the difference personally to me from what I'm seeing is the shimmers. Like, I feel like a lot of the mattes look somewhat similar. I mean some of the mattes, not a whole lot. Let me see. I already did those two. Let's try this black shade against, again, the other shade is more like a deeper brownish tone type shade, so they're not gonna look the same. It's giving more brown than it is black. Then let's see what else we got in here, because there's not a lot, thank goodness. I was hoping there wasn't a lot, because I'm like, really, Angie, you just gave us this palette? But I'm happy to report that so far from what I'm watching, it's not the same. Okay, let me swatch the shade Full Moon too, just because they're both here. Y'all having fun just sitting up here swatching like, yes, let's see how similar it really is. So, with that shade, I kind of want to swatch this shade. See, is that similar? No, that's not it. Okay, y'all, so we got the black shade for Merry Christmas, and then this is from Angie's palette. This is Merry Christmas. This is Angie's palette. This is what is this? This is Merry, this is, I think this is Merry Christmas, and this is Merry Christmas. Then this is Angie's palette, and this is Angie's palette. So as you can see, they're not really that similar. And like I said, thank goodness, because I was a little concerned when I saw the color story, because it gave like it could be the little sister to this palette. So maybe it'd be a good companion palette for the people who do have it. And it's, I still want you to see there are some things that you might be able to do with this palette you can't do with this one. So if you're not really crazy about having that much orange, or you don't mind having that much orange in it, you might be okay with not having got the Merry Christmas one. I think that's pretty much all we have to compare. Let's see. Yeah, for the most part, that's all I'm seeing. Let me see. I never swatched this shade. Let me see. That's the green one. Okay, so that one against Merry Christmas. Let me see. What is this one looking like? I feel like that one is cool. Okay, so this is Merry Christmas, and this is Trick or Treat. This is Merry Christmas, and this is Trick or Treat. So it's not giving exact. It's not giving exact. It's not giving exact. So I would still say I feel like this is a good alternative for you if you're not crazy about having the like pinks and the black. You don't necessarily have to have that. Then I feel like this could be a good alternative for you because you're still getting a lot of Christmas-esque vibes with a little bit of fall mix. So it's like, to me, this is a transitioning palette. You can use it in fall and you can use it around Christmas time too because of the reds and greens in it, just like this one. I feel like both of these are like year-round palettes that you can use all year long. So I just want to give you swatches to compare it, since I had said early on that I felt like they could be similar, and I do feel like they are similar. Not exact, but similar. And I do feel like I stand by what I said about this being a good alternative for people who didn't get the Christmas Eve palette. Sorry, the Merry Christmas palette. So those are the 5 brands that dupe themselves in my personal opinion. You can comment down below and tell me if you agree based upon the swatches that you saw and on both palettes. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye. Tell me what your favorite dupe was down below.